Today we are diving deep into the world of millionaires, not to marvel at their wealth, but to uncover the habits that got them there. These aren't just secrets that certain people know. They are practical, everyday habits that anyone, including you, can start to implement into your life today. Whether you're taking the first steps toward getting out of debt, looking to move closer to financial independence, or wanting a way to elevate your financial journey, this episode is a guide for you to adopting the habits that could pave your way to becoming a millionaire. So sit back, think about how you can apply these principles as we go through them today, and let's embark on this transformative journey together. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Financial Mirror. Where future success is reflected in our knowledge of fixing the one thing we can control, ourselves.
Welcome to the Financial Mirror, and thanks for joining me today as we continue to work to improve the one thing that we can control, ourselves. Here at the Financial Mirror, it is not about the numbers and spreadsheets alone, but about transforming and educating you on money so that you can make smarter financial decisions. If this is the first time you are joining in, don't forget to hit subscribe on YouTube to be notified of all the new episodes as they release. If you are listening to this on a podcast platform of your choice, don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave a 5-star review and a written comment, as both go a long way in getting this information out to more and more listeners. So today is all about uncovering the habits of millionaires. When we do that, that can, in and of itself, set us on our own path to wealth or becoming a millionaire, whatever your end goal is. The biggest thing that I see is that people hear, well, they're a millionaire, they have a lot of wealth, all these things, and they never really think about like that could be them. So when I tell you this, and I encourage you, when we go through these, don't consistently think about, well, that's nothing. Like I could implement that and I still wouldn't be a millionaire. No, what I'm going to go over today are habits that if you will work through applying each of these habits to your life, you will become a millionaire. You will become a millionaire if you will apply these habits. So don't instantly knock yourself down. Don't instantly think about, well, woe is me, and that's never going to be me. I'm not one of those top 1%ers or whatever the case is. Tell yourself what you want. But if for the people that listen to this episode and walk away and apply these things to their life, they will become millionaires. I have seen it time and time again, and you can see it too. Every single episode, Dave Ramsey has people call into his show, and they talk about, how they got out of debt. They talk about how they studied millionaires, and there's certain traits that millionaires have, and those are great. Those are great. They're great traits to have, like, avoiding debt and getting out of debt if you have it, and investing consistently, not so much how much you invest, but just investing consistently, things like that. What I'm here to tell you is that if you will follow these habits and you will take and apply these habits to your life, you will be thankful for it. It will pay dividends. It will truly pay dividends, and you will have the wealth and everything that comes with that, right? Like building that lifelong wealth for your family. Well, people make strides in becoming millionaires, and it's not this like overnight thing. I think that's the biggest problem that's happened is that you see college athletes, they're striving to go to whatever MLB, NFL, NBA, whatever, and they're like overnight millionaires, right? Like they worked hard. I'm not saying that you didn't work hard if you're listening to this, but you worked hard and you were rewarded for it. But how long it takes to become a millionaire is you go from like like zero net worth, or maybe a few thousand net worth, or maybe if you with NIL and all these things, maybe you had a couple 100,000, maybe $1 million net worth or whatever. That's not the average bear, let's say, but you could be an overnight millionaire from that alone. That's not most people. But just because that's not you doesn't mean you can't become a millionaire. So that's what we're going to go over today. I'm going to quickly go through 6 habits, but if you will apply these to your life, you will become a millionaire. So let's kick this off with habit 1. The number 1 habit for you to start with is you need to set goals and visualize them. You don't just need to set the goal and walk away. The power of clarity for millionaires is that they set specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals, right? Those SMART goals. I've done multiple episodes on it. I'm not going to dive into it today, but just look up SMART goals. It's a very common thing, but they need to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. But millionaires set SMART goals. They do. They set SMART goals and they visualize them. When I think about visualizing, I think about how, you think back to like Michael Phelps, right? And there's this story of Michael Phelps, and he would get in the pool and he would visualize, swimming to one end of the pool. He'd visualize, how he like where he's going to land. I'm not a swimmer, I apologize, but like how he's going to like push off of the wall, how he's going to rotate, how he's going to like somersault. He visualized and thought about what if his goggles cracked, like all these things that are just like the normal person's like, no, you're just an Olympic athlete. I thought you just show up and compete. Like I thought you trained all this. Well, that training involved this like visualization efforts. So millionaires, they visualize how they're going to get there. They visualize them getting to those SMART goals. If they set a SMART goal, like I'm going to save 60% of their income, they visualize life living on that, on 40% of their income. How does that look? Think about that. Does it really feel that bad to live in a certain lifestyle when that's the lifestyle that you visualize and have for yourself? No, it hurts when you're on social media and you're scrolling through and all these people live in lavish lifestyles and you're like, well, that's not me, but I want it to be me. So I'm just going to go spend and swipe the credit card and I'm going to make that me. Yeah, like visualize this lifestyle that's comparable to your income and where you want to be with your SMART goals. And it doesn't feel so bad, right? It doesn't feel so bad. So that's where I kind of wanted to start. It's like the first habit that millionaires have is that they set goals and they visualize them. It's not just let me just set it and forget it type of thing. They set it and they visualize it. So pretty easy to do, right? Like, and that's how easy these habits are going to be. They're easy to apply. You're probably thinking like, man, I could just turn this episode off. I know everything he's going to say. Like, no, like if you will go through and listen to how easy these things are, you can apply. Like when I'm talking, and this is a derailment moment, sorry, but when I'm talking about like going through the baby steps of building wealth, when I'm talking about getting out of debt, like it takes time to apply. Like it takes, a certain amount of time to build an emergency fund. It takes a certain amount of time to pay off your debt. It takes a certain amount of time to build a fully funded emergency fund. It takes a certain amount of time to pay off your home. Like all these things, they take time. These 6 habits you can apply all today. Okay. They're that easy. It just takes effort. It truly just takes effort. So number 1, goal setting and visualizing, right? Habit number 2 is frugality and wise spending. Frugality and wise spending. I've done an episode on how to live frugally. I can link that at the bottom in the show notes. However, living frugally is something that can help you become a millionaire. It's a habit that will help you become a millionaire because millionaires avoid lavish lifestyles. The people you see on social media, A, they were probably given those things to promote them, or B, they're not as wealthy as you think. Like just because someone has a net, I don't even say net worth, just because someone has an income of $1 million does not make them a millionaire, right? If they have $999,000 in debt, like they have a net worth of $1,000, right? Like it's not, you're not a millionaire. You're not a millionaire. So think about millionaires avoid lavish lifestyles. They focus on accumulating assets that can build their wealth, right? Like, and we're not getting into the idea like, well, just go buy real estate and that'll increase your net worth. And all, like, I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is that they don't live this lifestyle of like driving Ferraris, right? Like you're not, like, I'm not saying that you can't buy a Ferrari one day. Like it's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is most millionaires don't live like that. The lifestyle that most people visualize as a millionaire is not how millionaires actually live, right? It's not. So what I'm telling you is live below your means. Avoid the lavish lifestyles. Focus on accumulating things that bring wealth to your life. Build some essential budgeting practice into your life. You need a budget, right? That's how you determine, are you living frugally enough? That determines how you're spending your money. Is it wise? That's telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. But you need to create a budget and you need to stick to it. It's a habit. Sticking to it, building a budget and sticking to a budget is a habit. But once you do it, it will change your life. The other thing that you can do when it comes to frugality and wise spending is talk about how you can stop impulse purchases. It's a big deal, right? People are blowing a lot of money on Amazon. People are blowing a lot of money on just going out and buying things. Avoid impulse buys and make thoughtful purchases that align with those long-term goals. So we talked about SMART goals. Make sure the things you're buying, make sure that the purchases you're making, make sure that the decisions you're making align with what you're trying to go after. So if you're trying to, build a fully funded emergency fund, that's your next financial goal. Going out and buying, tons of things on Amazon that you don't really need is not going to help you get there. Right? Like it's going to set you back. It does not align with your goal. And if you need the fully funded emergency fund so you can move to the next step of investing and paying off your home and all those things, you kind of need to choose things and buy things that are aligning with those long-term goals. So just remember, frugality and wise spending is necessary. Not hard to adopt. It really just comes down to budget and make sure that budget aligns with your long-term goals. Don't live lavishly, right? Pretty simple to apply to your life. Pretty simple. Now, this is another one that I've recently really been on a kick about. And with just about everyone I talk to, I've kind of been on this kick. But millionaires are continuous learners and constantly trying to improve themselves. That's habit 3, continuous learning and self-improvement. What I'm telling you is that continuous learning is all about staying ahead and adapting to this changing world, right? By you listening to this episode, I put you into a category of a continuous learner, right? You've taken the time, you've made it to habit 3, you didn't cut this off yet. But like that's a great step toward continuous learning. Right? Whether you agree or disagree, you need opposing opinions coming into your space here and learning about. But you need to continuously learn and stay ahead of kind of like how fast the world changes today. I want to tell you that in addition to how fast it's changing, how easily it is to grow, learn, and improve yourself is, think about like my parents and my parents' parents. Library, yes. Internet, no. Cell phone, no. Like what you have access to today. YouTube, no. Like none of them had it. And they still were able to learn, right? Like they still were able to learn. And I'm telling you, if you will set out time devoted to continuous learning and self-improvement, it will blow your mind. Like it'll start improving other areas of your life that you never thought was possible. So for myself, it's all about, whether it be taking online courses to try to just grow in certain areas that I'm just struggling in, whether it be like podcast editing or whether it be just learning new strategies, and whether it be like whatever. That's just like things that you can purchase and grow skills in. Other things, you have books that you can go out, buy and read and learn about to either be self-improvement or to learn new skills. You my favorite podcast, right? Like I love podcasts. I love learning different views, different things about tons of different topics from tons of different people that are subject matter experts in their own realm. Like that is so easy to access, and it's free. It's free to go listen to people's podcasts and literally get insight into their brain of like how things are going, right? It's free. You can educate yourself. You can continuously learn. You hate reading? Cool. Go listen to a podcast. Go learn some online courses, Udemy, Coursera, podcasts via Apple, via Spotify, whatever. Books, go to your local bookstore, go to a library, go to some like audiobooks, go and educate yourself. Don't stop learning. Another thing that I do is I challenge myself, and I think I've said this before, maybe I haven't, but I do jiu-jitsu as well. And that it's just one of those things where it's a continuous learning, right? Is that applicable to this video? Does it make this video better? No, it does not. Directly, it does not. Like what I learn from the professor, like does not come in here and directly make my video better. Does not make my podcast better. But what it does is it makes me challenge. It challenges me physically, mentally. It makes me think, critically think, right? It's like a game of chess. And so like it just constantly challenges you to realize and humble you and say, you know what? Like there's still areas I can improve in my life. It's just that reality check. And it's going to be something else for you, right? It's going to be something else for you. It doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu. But what it is that it's just a time for you to learn, a time for you to grow, and time for you to develop. And that's something that millionaires do. They don't stop learning. They find new areas to learn new things, right? So I challenge you. Number 3 is to just do that continuous learning. Do that self-improvement. Number 4 is all about building relationships. Building relationships. I want to emphasize on how building a diverse network of people, surrounding yourself with a diverse network of people can open doors to many opportunities. This could be, going to whatever industry you work in. This could be going to events in that industry just to meet other people in that industry. This could be joining online forums. This could be, actively engaging in community activities. This could be like a ton of things, right? A ton of things. Just to build relationships and network and grow that network of people around you. But meaningful relationships is necessary to continuous growth, right? It's good for the soul. Let's be honest, right? Like you need to build relationships with people. The world we kind of live in today, it's becoming like people just want to be at home. Like that whole COVID thing, like really put people inside, and they have not really come out of their shell yet, right? They really haven't. Like people are still really in tune with just wanting to be at home, still being really in tune with like a lot of the things they adopted during that whole COVID period. They still haven't really broke out of to go back to where they were, right? And so I challenge you to get out, build relationships, because those meaningful relationships are important to just life in general, just keeping yourself in a good headspace. You need to be there. And millionaires, they prioritize that. They prioritize building relationships. And just to clarify, like how important it is, you think about like shows like I think there's like a show called like Alone, and people are stuck on an island. They go off somewhere and they have a few things or whatever. But the number one thing that I've never seen this show, right? I've never seen this show, but I've been told about it. I've heard about it, all these things. But so I might be terribly off. But what I was told is that the biggest reason that people leave is because they're lonely. They have their little like tree friend, and their tree friend doesn't talk back, and they just get lonely. They just miss their family, their kids, their wife, their husband, whatever. And they just get lonely and they leave, right? They give up, because relationships are that important to people. They're that important to people. So you need to maintain those. You need to keep those. You need to hold on to those, build those, grow those, maintain them. That's habit 4, build relationships. Habit 5 for millionaires is they are risk-taking and resilient. Okay. And I want to talk about that because many people think when I say risk-taking, it means go invest all your money, take out a second mortgage. Like that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there are reckless risk, meaning taking out a second mortgage and buying Bitcoin, and there are calculated ones, right? Calculated risk. There are risk in putting my money into buying, shares of SPY, right? For the S&P 500. There are risk involved in that. There are risks in the mutual funds that I invest in. There are risks if I got into real estate. There's risks that I take on when I do that. But what I'm telling you is that they are very calculated risk. Millionaires take calculated risk. What I'm telling you is that you need to take risk. You do not need to put your money in your mattress. You do not need to put your money under your mattress. You do not need to put your money under your bed, in a box, in the ground, in your backyard. You need to take risk with investments. Now, where that money goes and what you invest in, educate yourself, self-improvement, and focusing on that continuous learning. Figure out where you're going to invest next, right? Like there's just like it's this, you see how this is a cycle, right? You're going to go out and build relationships. You're going to learn about it. You're going to improve yourself. You're going to live frugally. You're going to save the money, and then you're going to set the goal and visualize it, and then you're going to invest it and not take a reckless. It's not going to be reckless because you've done all those things. You've built relationships. You've used your continuous learning to grow and learn about that subject. You were frugal and you saved the money to invest it, and now you visualized it, you set the goal, and you attacked it, right? See how these all work together. You can apply these to your life instantly, but you got to take risk. You got to take risk. And the thing that I'm going to tell you about risk is that there is failure, and you have to learn from failure. Millionaires learn from their failure. So when they take the risk, they may fail, but they learn. How many people that have, billion-dollar companies that they created, how many of those, that was the first company they ever started? Very few times is that their first venture that they went down. Very few times. I don't know the number. Very few times has that happened. So what I'm telling you is be resilient. Keep a positive mindset around these things. Have good coping strategies for when things don't go the way you wanted them to. Learn from failure, but continue taking risk. Continue taking risk. Millionaires take risk. They take calculated risk, not reckless risk. Okay. The last habit that I want to focus on is health and well-being. Millionaires keep a very holistic health approach. And I'm going to talk, I've got an episode coming up that talks about kind of like the whole body of finances. And this is going to be, it's going to tie kind of in with this, but I want you to know that physical, mental, and emotional health all contribute to your overall success. If physical, mental, or emotional is out of whack, all of them are more than likely out of whack. If you are mentally out of whack, your physical and, if you're emotionally out of whack, your physical and mental is out of whack. If you're mentally out of whack, your emotions and physical are all over the place. If you're physically out of whack, guess what? Your mental and emotional are going to take an impact. So what I'm telling you is that all of those things, physical, mental, and emotional health, contribute to your overall financial success. That was a lot. I said that a lot. Rewind that, slow it down if you need to. I said it kind of fast. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I said it kind of slow. I'm not really sure. But do what you need to do to get that. But the biggest thing is to take a holistic approach at your life. Look at it. Okay? But just look at some simple health practices, right? Regular exercise. And I didn't say regularly lift weights. I didn't say regularly run. Just do regular exercise. Regular exercise. Try to get 15 minutes a day of just good, get your body moving exercise. Like it could be at lunch. It could be at, wake up early. It could be at nighttime. It could be whenever. Just find the time to do regular exercise. Focus on what you're putting in your body. Huge impact on how you feel is what you put in your body. For the month of January, I did this whole, I want to see how my body reacted to kind of like the breads and rices and granolas of the carb family, right? So I tried to stay under 75 grams of carbs, not from any type of breads or rices or anything of that nature. Just what coming out of the veggies, no fruit or anything. Just veggies and, whatever came out of just the normal things that I was eating, but, did a lot of high protein, high fat meals, and I felt great. Now, I'm not adopting that full time by any means, but it was just something just to try and see, like, how does my body react to certain things? And that was just something I wanted to try. But figure out what is best for your body just to feel great, and go with it. And then, breath work, meditation, that type of stuff is it's blown out of proportion. Like, it's like this like Zen thing, right? That like it's so zenny or what, I don't even know the words, but breath work and meditation has a place in your life, right? Maybe you just sit there, when you're at work and you're about to start your lunch, you sit there and just take a couple breaths. Just really like let your mind just kind of rest. Just take a moment to let life around you just rest. You can do all the zenny like stuff, but I just do breath work. I just sit down and I just breathe and just rest. Just let my mind just like forego everything around me. Let whatever the stimuluses are that are coming at me, just let them hit me and just rest my mind for just a second, like just a few minutes. It's life-changing. It's life-changing. But millionaires keep health and well-being at the forefront of their mind. They do. So that's the last thing that I was gonna cover is just health and well-being. But you've got to implement these things. You've got to implement these things. So as we kind of conclude this, I want you to remember that the journey to wealth is a marathon. Becoming a millionaire is going to take time. You're not going to be an overnight success at this. But if you will embrace these habits, if you will start to utilize these, put these in your life, and it can set a foundation for financial success. So start where you are. Don't try to like say, I'm going to, make drastic changes. Start where you are. What's the easiest to adapt now to? Like, just put them into your life. Use what you have and do what you can. Okay. So just don't do anything drastic. Just start doing these things and they will build, grow, and mature over time. Okay. So just to recap them, that goal setting and visualization is that first habit. The second habit is living frugally and having wise spending. Third, being continuous learning and self-improvement. Fourth is the building relationships. 5 is the risk-taking and resiliency. And 6 is that whole body health and well-being improvement and focus, right? So I encourage you to try to take these habits in. I encourage you to try to adopt these and get these in your life, because these are 6 habits that will get you to becoming a millionaire. If you'll work these in your life, apply them, you will become a millionaire. Now, if in the meantime you're working through this and you're like, I just need a little help. Like I'm just got started. I'm not really sure about this whole budgeting thing. I just need help getting myself out of debt. I'm good after that. Just help me with that. Well, don't worry. If you're ready to take control of your finances and you just need someone to sit down and build a personalized plan with you, head over to thefinancialmirror.org, hit book now, and schedule your free consultation today. We'll sit down. We'll see what the right plan is for you, and then we'll start moving you closer to your financial goals so that you can continue to head down that financial journey. If you do want to give an extra dose of support to the stream, head over to thefinancialmirror.org/shop, pick you up some awesome financial mirror gear. I truly appreciate everyone tuning in today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this episode. Leave a 5-star review and a written comment, as they both go a long way in getting this information out to more and more listeners, no matter if you're on YouTube, Rumble, podcast, whatever. Support the channel, support the video, the episode. Till next week, continue improving the one thing you can control, yourself. Peace.
Well, that wraps up today's Financial Mirror. Join us next week as we continue to work on ourselves, change our mentality, and to commit to achieving the success we always envisioned. Regardless of your platform, help us grow as a community. Please like, subscribe, and share with the people in your lives.